Jesus.
Careful with that horse, Arthur.
It's all good. Calm down. Here.
Dear sir, you were once very kind to Beau and myself, and it pains me to ask you to show us further kindness. But I have nowhere else to turn, and nobody else upon whom I can impose. I will, of course, pay you handsomely for your troubles. My family have turned quite mad and are threatening to send me away to stop my work, which they say is disgracing them. As if their history of absolute moral depravity, utter debauchery, and perpetual drunkenness did not disgrace them enough. I must escape, yet I am kept prisoner here. Can you help? Most days I am to be found at the cabins on the plantation. The main house and all it stood for are thankfully no more. Yours faithfully, Penelope Braithwaite.
You good, Sadie?
Hi, Charles.
Wait. Yeah. Hey, move it! Come on, work! Just a bit more, boy. I'm not looking for company or conversation. You just relax.
Hey, get yourself out of there.
This what you want?
You don't want to see what happens if you don't leave. You're about to
Hand
get
over
shot.
all your money, big man.
See you in... Holding out over this? Hey, boy. Pushing, boy. Come on, let's go. What do you think you're doing? You are crazy! What are you doing? Boy, this is a nice home.
Looking to sell that? I'll look it over. Welcome back, sir. So, what do you have for me?
Once a thief, always a thief. I am watching you. Explore, explore. I have quite the stock. Fine, sure. Wow me. Look at what you can find hiding in the gutter. What some people give away, huh? You have a cache, huh? Whoever gave this to you was very nice. A family heirloom, I'm sure.
Been a pleasure doing business with you.
Oh, it's you. Are you all right, mon ami? You know we have a good doctor in town.
Yes, I already saw him.
I prefer an
Watch yourself now.
Cuidado! Why are you pestering me?
Hey, what they do?
Back awful soon.
Out of the way!
Io vestito di ormai.
Keep your head up.
Yep.
Hey, partner.
Hey there.
Holy shit!
Can't believe it.
Why are you doing this?
Giddy up. Damnation, it is you piece of...
E agora, e beleza.
Please, help! Help!
Leave me in peace!
God damn it!
Vida pitó. La puta.
Come on. Yep. You got more, boy. Come on. Come on. Yeah. I got real problems to deal with. Yeah. Get more, boy. Come on.
Who the hell did you rob for all this?
Hey, you ask no questions, I tell no lies.
I'm gonna kill you!
I'll get you right between the eyes!
Don't need more guns in the hands of those fools.
Hello and welcome back to SJW Moments on No Bullshit. Make you want to puke garbage. In fact, usually they are presented in a pretty neutral light in the game, and they let the player decide what side of the issue they want to go on. For example, you can side with the feminists and help them out happily and be a part of their cause, or you can do it begrudgingly, or not even at all. The player usually gets to decide how to play this, so none of these politics seem too pushy or heavy-handed. Now, with all that said, let's go ahead and finally jump into it. Mild spoilers ahead, if you're worried about that sort of thing. The first SJW-ish moment to pop up in the game comes pretty early on. In the game's first few hours, you're on a snowy hillside camping with your gang. First, you learn how to play a little bit, and then second, you start to get to know your other gang members. Arthur Morgan is your name, and your main player character is surrounded by outlaws who are helping you out here and giving you tips along the way. One of those gang members is named Charles Smith, who's half black and half Native American, and he sure loves letting people know about his background right away. Take a look at this clip from one of the first times you talk to the guy in the game.
Dutch is different. Oh, yes. Dutch is certainly different.
He treats me fair. Most of you do. And for a fellow with a black father and an Indian mother, that ain't normally the case. Well, we need you now. More than ever.
Geez, that's a little awkward. Even in the game's pre-recorded fake conversation version, this still comes off stiff and forced. He honestly sounds like a modern SJW a little bit, like a lefty who's complaining about racism from being half black or something. You might remember those mixed race struggle videos we reviewed here, like that one from BuzzFeed. This is stuff we went over before, except this character in the game has a big difference and advantage. In the 1890s, a character like this most certainly would have been a victim of some extreme racism or mistreatment. Charles actually has a point here, and is far more justified in bringing this up, especially over some millennial in 2016 who got upset because one person complimented their hair or some shit, asked them where they were from. You know what I mean. And another proper defense for this would be this is early on in the game, and they're still doing a lot of exposition with the story, which includes proper introductions for all the main characters. Regardless, I thought it was a funny this, and then they move on. Also, since Red Dead is set in the past, they are mostly introducing concepts which everyone in the present should already be on board for. The mixed race character before is, of course, something people are accustomed to now, as they should be. And the same goes for this black character who talks shit about racism. And this is true later on too, when we get to the feminists in the game who just want to get women the right to vote. All of these issues, while controversial and revolutionary in the time of the game, in the 1890s, just want to get women the right to vote. All of these issues, while controversial and revolutionary in the time of the game, in the 1890s, just want to get women the right to vote. All of these issues, while controversial and revolutionary in the time of the game, in the 1890s, just want to get women the right to vote. All of these issues, while controversial and revolutionary.
Our first look at Detective Pikachu showed us an entirely new perspective on the world of Pokemon, and how the franchise looks under a Western lens. And while the character designs may take a while getting used to, they have undoubtedly captured our interest. All 7 generations are represented not just through Pokemon, but through dozens of references scattered around Rhyme City. So of course we shifted the old analysis machine from game mode to movie mode to see what hidden details might be hiding. So let's put on our detective hats and dive into the world of Detective Leaventown to Rhyme City, of Detective Pikachu. This really is a world shared by both humans, not just through Pokemon, but through dozens of references scattered around Rhyme City. So of course we shifted the old analysis machine from game mode to movie mode to see what hidden details might be hiding. So let's put on our detective hats and dive into the world of Detective Pikachu. This really is a world shared by both humans and Pokemon alike, and so whether they're just birds in the sky or helpers in a marketplace, there are Pokemon absolutely everywhere, even in the first few frames of the trailer. If we look at the sky, we'll see several Pokemon flying in very different patterns. The ones looping around appear to be the flying squirrel Pokemon, Emolga, whereas the more traditional birds are Spearow. That's not all though, as Flabebe and Comfey also join the Pokemon in the sky. If you can't tell already, Rhyme City is home to a vast array of Pokemon. This isn't just another Gen 1 trip. Moving down to the ground, we can find Charmander and Dodrio in plain sight, but among the crowd you'll find Bouffalant and also Braverary. There might also be a Venusaur from the Pokemon series, such as Puff Palace, which is even accompanied by an image of Pokepuffs. These are used in Pokemon and Me. There's also Daydream, the Pokemon Wynot with a sign above it with its name, and Berry Universe. More ads on the right can be seen. One for the RCPD, which stands for Rhyme City Police Department, a Poke Cafe, Victor's, themed after Victini, and next to Swirlix is the word Puffed. We then get a very clear shot of Psyduck. Psyduck appears to be somewhat of a prominent character, showing up multiple times in this trailer alongside the very same woman. Traditionally designed Gengar and Jigglypuff balloons decorate the background. It seems there may be a couple of callbacks to the anime art direction. You might also catch a Spoink bobblehead in the car, and that the people in the background are dressed remarkably like Squirtles and Gengars. Just like the game Detective Pikachu, Tim Goodman's father still shares the same name, Harry Goodman. While the trailer tells us he's one of the best cops in the precinct, these certificates are the only details to feature his actual name. There's nothing too interesting here, but it hits home that Harry was a really good officer. In the next scene, we're able to catch a few details hiding in the background. The large neon sign reads Mist, and that's likely a reference to the Kanto gym leader and anime companion, Misty. That's not the only reference in this shot though, as you might be able to catch a silhouette of a Pokemon hiding in the middle of this O. That looks to us like Sandshrew. It seems we'll be able to play our own little game of Who's That Pokemon. Now, Tim's room is completely full of references that really place Rhyme City in the greater world of Pokemon. Not only can you catch 3 direct references to Pokemon regions with a poster featuring Johto, Kanto with reference to Cerulean Arena, and Sinnoh, but you may also catch a Blastoise poster here on the left, what looks like a Rayquaza-themed band or sports team, a battle poster between Hypno and Dragonite with an admission fee of 16 Pokédollars. It even uses the correct symbol for money. There's also a Rayquaza-themed wall art, and the Johto poster from before features Articuno vs Steelix. They definitely don't shy away with references to legendary Pokemon in this movie. It's clear that Tim has a deep history of Pokemon and was a really passionate trainer. He even has a collection of trophies showing just how good he really was. In the next cut, we see a poster featuring Reshiram and Zekrom from Pokemon Black and White. Again, more legendaries. While it's possible that Tim simply just loves Pokemon, we have to assume this was his childhood bedroom, especially with the Pikachu ears coming from the end of his bed. We know he's an adult with a previous scene showing him working a job at a call center, so it's likely he's visiting his old home, trying to reminisce about his father who's gone missing. This is further evidence from Tim opening what appears to be a birthday card with a ticket from Leaving Town to Rhyme City. Yes, it's actually called Leaving Town, as in leaving town. I don't know what that Pokemon is. The next scene takes place in a Chinatown-like area, but also features many of the same Pokemon from the introduction. We get a better look at Emolga on the left above the umbrellas, Dodrio can be seen in the center, and Venusaur is present over here on the left. That's not all though, as we can also spy Ordino, Joltik, and a Charmander assisting with cooking. It looks like Pokemon will be doing far more than just battling in this world. Also, this lantern reminds us of Chandelure. We also spy a neon sign with something Tangular related. You may also notice that these leaks alongside Pikachu are strikingly similar to what Farfetch uses. It's possible they're just part of the whole cooking environment, but with essentially everything being a reference to some kind of Pokemon, it's definitely not a far-fetched stretch. We then get a wider shot of the marketplace, which reveals a sign referencing the unknown, and we get another Jigglypuff reference too. There's also a sign reading Memento, and this is a direct reference to the Dark-type move of the same name. In this shot, we see missing posters for both Pancham and Squirtle, though this isn't the last we see of those Pokemon, but more on that later. Now this shot may be a bit out of focus, but we believe we can see artwork for Clefairy sitting just in the background behind Tim. Bulbasaur and Morlow are clear as day in this shot, but in the background we can see Tim carrying an unconscious Pikachu. What exactly caused this? It's difficult to say at this point, but there are a few things in this trailer that may have caused this injury, but again, a bit more on that shortly. Jigglypuff has some interesting callbacks to the Pokemon anime. Not only does it have the same coloured microphone, but its singing seems to have sent everyone to sleep. It doesn't seem intentional either, as Jigglypuff is rather annoyed that no one's around to appreciate his singing. Alongside Jigglypuff, we've got a poster for a fight between Machamp and Primeape. Only costs 3 or 6 Pokédollars, which is basically nothing. I don't know if the economy in Rhyme City is strong. We then get an ultra-realistic, scaly Charizard using Flamethrower. There's also a group of Greninjas jumping out in the next scene. Given this takes place in a forest, it's possible this is connected to the unconscious Pikachu scene. Maybe the Greninjas even caused it. Especially as Greninjas are seen as somewhat antagonists, even in this menacing scene in the research facility. Now this scene is very interesting. Not only do we get a look at Rufflet, but we can also see Squirtle and Pancham, who you might remember from the missing posters. Is it possible that these are those exact Pokemon? I mean, they could be totally different creatures, but it would be a big coincidence to put those two exact same Pokemon together again. The next Pokemon is rather tricky to figure out, as you don't really get a good look at it and debris is flying everywhere. But the charged up hand-like figure reminds us heavily of Apom. We then see Tim and Pikachu with the same woman and Psyduck combo from the beginning of the trailer, and it seems these guys are here to stick around, as we then see them cowering in fear as the ground is somehow morphed around them. Could this be the work of a legendary Pokemon? With all the references made during the trailer, we really wouldn't be surprised to see one show up. We don't know if it does anything to stop the land from folding, but Psyduck unleashes a Psychic-type move, which, if it is a legendary Pokemon, this might interrupt their attack. Now this scene shows us something rather interesting about Pikachu. Under this lighting, we can see Pikachu's design actually seems to be based off his original 1996 artwork with his light underbelly. Something that's since been replaced by static yellow in all other revisions. It's not really noticeable for most of the movie, but this lighting really highlights it. And Mr. Mime is also as creepy as ever. And the trailer finally closes with a shot of Detective Pikachu facing off against the same Charizard from before. It's possible they were lining up for a battle with him, but it's unclear exactly why. It doesn't look good for Pikachu here though. And that's everything we could catch in the trailer for Detective Pikachu. There are so many little details sprinkled throughout this trailer, and the more I see, the more I'm sold on this world. Heck, Detective Pikachu could even be up there with the best video game adaptations ever. It seems to be in capable hands. So did you guys find any details that we missed? Let us know in the comments below, and of course be sure to subscribe to Game Explained for a lot more on Detective Pikachu, and other things gaming too. Until next time, bye!
Somebody set up us the bomb. It's NES Works episode 42. I've decided to forge ahead with another episode of NES Works this week instead of alternating to a different series, because this week Nintendo is adding Mighty Bomb Jack to its Nintendo Switch Online service, the game that happens to be next in the NES historic chronology. And, as it happens, the game after that, Solomon's Key, is already up on the service. So this seems like a good opportunity to talk about whether or not these games are good or interesting. Spoilers, they are, but they might be something of an acquired taste. Both Mighty Bomb Jack and Solomon's Key come to us from a new licensee for the NES, a company called Tecmo. Like a lot of early NES and Famicom third parties, Tecmo had begun as a concern completely unrelated to video games, but jumped into the booming Famicom home game market once it began to, boom. Up until the debut of these two games in Japan, Tecmo had published a few arcade and computer titles under its original name, Tekkon. A couple of these, most notably Pleiades, had made their way to the US. For the most part, the company saw its greatest success in Japan in the form of Star Force, a top-down shooter that became a modest hit. We'll see Star Force on NES Works before too long, but that series is mostly notable for the fact that it was published by Hudson, who pretty much ran with it on their own. Hudson mutated Star Force through semi-official sequels into Star Soldier, which would become a central pillar for that company. For all intents and purposes, the two games we see in this episode represent Tecmo's first truly defining works, so it's fitting that they would mark the publisher's debut on NES. Both bring a sort of puzzle-driven action sensibility to the console, though each title approaches the concept of action puzzler in a very different way. Solomon's Key is the more typical take on the puzzler, so let's look at that first. It's a bit of a first on NES Works, but it feels very much like the kind of game we've seen ad infinitum on Game Boy Works. Indeed, protagonist Dana will make his way to Game Boy in due time. Solomon's Key plays out as a series of 48 single-screen block puzzles that must be navigated and completed in mutated Star Force through
What's up, guys? Welcome.
Protagonist Dana will make his way to Game Boy in due time. Solomon's Key plays out as a series of 48 single-screen block puzzles that must be navigated and completed in mutated Star Force through
What's up, guys? Welcome.
Protagonist Dana will make his way to Game Boy in due time. Solomon's Key plays out as a series of 48 single-screen block puzzles that must be navigated and completed in mutated Star Force through
What's up, guys? Welcome.
Protagonist Dana will make his way to Game Boy in due time. Solomon's Key plays out as a series of 48 single-screen block puzzles that must be navigated and completed in mutated Star Force through
What's up, guys? Welcome.
If something makes you miserable, at some point you just have to stop doing it. So let this video serve as my resignation from the furry community. I could end the video right here, but undoubtedly people want to know my reasons why. if something
infiltrating NGOs who work with the migrants to try and bring them into Europe. And we're expecting a call from him any minute now to give us an update on the situation. So, keep you posted. George, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I haven't heard from you in days. What's going on?
I've got to be really quick. I've managed to sneak away for 5 minutes. I've been meeting the NGOs, meeting all these organisations. I've got so much stuff, so much criminal stuff, I can't say much because hang on, I'll bring these cards to you, the stuff that I've got. It's going to blow the whole thing wide open.
Okay, so how did it go?
Incredible. You're gonna love this. So, advocates abroad.
Yeah.
Really serious NGO operating in the Greek islands. 17 countries in total, but primarily based in the Greek islands.
What do they do?
They do legal aid, representation, coaching for refugees before they have their asylum interview. So
with the Greek government.
Yeah. So once they get to Moria, they have their interview. That's where they decide: are they going to go to Athens? Are they going to go to Europe? Are they sent back? 380 staff. They've had about 15,000 people go through, more at the moment.
So it's not just a couple of sob stories.
This is industrialized legal aid, essentially. It's huge. So their support, they take support and volunteers from like University of Cambridge, University of Oxford, University of Denver. It's massive. They're linked with the International Bar Association. Al Jazeera, Huffington Post have all written about them, done interviews. So these are the guys. These are the guys
really
that people
connected,
go to for their information. So the last 6 days, I've been with Ariel, who is their CEO, their executive director, and she's literally told me everything. All the stuff that they shouldn't be doing. All the stuff that, worse stuff than we thought they might be doing.
What does that mean?
So I've got all these recordings, because obviously I recorded everything, so that we can use it. They're cheating the system, massively cheating the system to get these people in. Just listen to this.
It's just kind of like, sometimes it's like it's important this, and then how to tell your story, and how to explain the Constitution, like keep the private emotions and then kind of challenge it, because all of this acting is I feel like I tell them that this is acting. All of this is acting. All acting is the same. So for them to get through, they must act right here in the theater. And that is the refugee and trauma, because these Yugoslavs are so fucking stupid that all they know is what is written on the paper. Yago says this is refugee and trauma. They have these characteristics. So we coach people on these characteristics. So they're doing that. They're teaching them to act.
Yeah. She literally keeps talking about these refugees as actors, as a theatre production.
So the government have created a process to try and find real refugees amongst tons of people that are trying to illegally migrate to Europe, and they're making it into a theatre class so everyone gets in.
Yeah, essentially.
Even if they're not a genuine
Essentially, they've worked out what the interviewers are looking for, and they're teaching people how to do that, how to be that. That is incredible. Let me find you this other one, actually.
So, like, there's a formula we came up with, which is ironic, that's second formula, but it's like students do events. My boss is trying to drop me in that thing for church. I was right there on the keys. I was wearing the same size there. And you don't look for church. And that way you can the nurse. And then we have like 2 examples. Even if you find yourself in a position where you have to lie because you still need to remember something else, that's just the same as what you said.
So they've got experts that have made a list of refugees will act like this. They'll have these things that they'll say. They know what actual persecution happens under these governments. And these legal advocates are teaching people the words to say.
Oh, yeah. She's been very explicit with me. They have literally lists of words. So if you're vague, if you're uncertain, any of that stuff, those are buzzwords that if the interviewer writes those down, you don't get your asylum. But on the other hand, there are certain words that if the interviewer writes down, certain characteristics, literally emotion, if you're emotional, then they will wave you through.
Whether or not you're acting with emotion. So you have to be like, or crying or sobbing or throwing up or asking for a break. So it's becoming an actor. Oh yeah. Oh, we actually do role playing. So like we prepare for the folder. So like the first role playing activity we do is like us and they're the officer. And then we poke around after they die.
I'll get you switched out.
Walk into the office. How should I introduce myself? How should I give them the folder? And then how do I do that? And then when do I stand up? When do I show kind of presence? Well, because it's a good way to show honesty and not what it does, not to see to say what you say you are, and show that you're right. They also ask like what's your favorite holiday? And like some people say like Christmas, but like we explain you can't say Christmas. And you have to say it in a certain way, just like
What this organization are doing, they're not just teaching refugees how to make it through the system. While I'm sure there are genuine refugees that are trying to get to Europe and go through these requests with the government, this group, Advocates Abroad, they're looking for a 100% success rate. They are trying to get every single migrant that comes across those borders, illegally or legally, criminal or not, they are trying to get them through to Europe under refugee status. There is a process in place to determine who is and who is not a genuine refugee. And the government, they have made checks and balances for that. They have made sure they can determine who that is. And this group, they are trying to skirt that process. They are trying to make a mockery of Europe's borders and get every single person through. One of the craziest things in that recording is the fact that they're teaching people who could very well be, many who are likely Muslim, who are perfectly safe in many Middle Eastern countries, how to pretend to be Christian, how to pray, how to say that Christmas is their favorite holiday. I mean, that is insane. There are Christians who are being beheaded, that are facing jail, that are facing just complete and utter persecution, that are now being put at the back of a line for support in Europe because Advocates Abroad are teaching people perjury, how to lie to the government and pretend to be Christian so they can get through. It is making an absolute mockery of Europe's borders. It is making a mockery of the proper system put in place to help genuine refugees, and it is hurting both genuine migrants and the European people who now have to deal with a mass influx of people that are entirely unvetted. We spoke to the migrants on the camps in the Greek islands, and they were telling us one of the biggest things they fear are ISIS in their camps and criminals in their camps that have just gotten through and come to Europe. And there is a very good chance that advocates abroad are coaching those people as well, are coaching criminals, are coaching ISIS how to screw up the system, how to get by and lie to the government and get into Europe. Of course there are people who need legal help. Of course there are genuine refugees out there. But what they need is non-partisan, real legal help, not like actual activists that are trying to do illegal behavior, not advocates abroad. So that was just a very small snippet of some of the amazing content we have with our project Borderless. There's still so much we have yet to expose and so much more we want to expose that the government and the media are trying to cover up. Unfortunately, so far we have come to the end of our budget for the Borderless film, but we're looking to you to help us continue this project as there's so much more we want to investigate and bring forward. If you want to help, please check out the links below or go to borderless.movie to do that. And a huge thanks to everyone who has already supported making this possible. We'll see you guys in the next expose.
So the leader was like properly involved with smugglers?
Oh, of course they will. I mean, we all are to some degree.
War. War never changes. No, wait. War never gives change. It's very expensive. In the year 2018, Sam left his vault made of what appears to be plywood and some assorted scrap materials in order to pick up the pre-order of a game that he was looking forward to. No, wait. War never gives change. Up until everyone started but he had already put down a deposit, so that now all he and his wallet had to endure was the remaining balance on the account!
I'm over encumbered. Hi.
A very special edition of Sam Time, because today we are unboxing Fallout 76 Expensive Hat Edition. Yes, I ventured out into the wasteland known as Pakenham to pick this bad boy up. I had to contend with some pretty feral ghouls. But look, this is a great investment item. Don't think I'm crazy. Have a look. This is the 89,283rd of only 110,800 units. So it's a bargain, really. Let's open it up. This is a shiv I got from one of the ferals. There were plenty around, although I do need to upgrade my knife skill. It's here. It's a nice little box. Oh, power armor. Power armor includes 1 power armor helmet and 150 rated. Protect you from rads. I could have done with that in Pakenham. Alright, oh, look at this. First of all, the least important, the game itself. I think with this, we get a special Uncle Sam outfit, so that's appropriate, and it feels like it's made out of some sort of tin. A special, we get little dudes. We get little war men. Hey, respect my war men. Here we have a poster, some sort of glow-in-the-dark map, I believe. Oh yeah, have a looky pook. There you go, you put your little war men on the map of West Virginia. You could tell a little story. It took years, but we finally brought peace to the wasteland. And all can praise me, Overseer Gary, for helping everyone.
Gary! You can't do that to Gary! That's right! Let's avenge him and
Oh no, Thomas! Someone help Thomas! Someone help me! No, not my head! Oh, looky. Oh, his head fell out. Oh, look at that. It's got a bescougoscope. It's got a beautiful weathered look. You can't really see any nuts or bolts that you're not supposed to. These things are made out of actual piping. You can't get that. Geez, you have to go to Bunnings to get that. And it all seems very good. I'm not going to look at the instructions. I'm just going to put it right on. Oh, it smells like chemicals. It smells like I might get more rads putting this on than taking it off. Some sweet China rads. Smogalicious. Oh, stay funky, everyone. A mouthpiece. Battery hatch. Chuck some batteries in here. AAA batteries to use. And now I'm on my crafting game I just showed. Try it out now. Of course, finally, you get this. Almost heaven. West Virginia. Blue Ridge Mountains. Shenandoah River. It's on my speech jams here because it's slightly delayed. Luke. I am your father. All your kids have belong to us. Okay, that was fun.
For support in Europe, because advocates abroad are teaching people perjury, how to lie to the government and pretend to be Christians so they can get through. It is making an absolute mockery of Europe's borders. It is making a mockery of the proper system put in place to help genuine refugees, and it is hurting both genuine migrants and the European people who now have to deal with a mass influx of people that every single person.
Like some people just say like Christmas, but like we explain, you can't just say this because it's not sufficient enough to be said. And you have to say it in a certain way, just like December 25th, Christmas is the birthday of our Lord and Savior.
What this organization are doing, they're not just teaching refugees how to make it through the system. While I'm sure there are genuine refugees that are trying to get to Europe and go through these requests with the government, this group, Advocates Abroad, they're looking for a 100% success rate. They are trying to get every single migrant that comes across those borders, illegally or legally, criminal or not, they are trying to get them through to Europe under refugee status. There is a process in place to determine who is and who is not a genuine refugee. And the government, they have made checks and balances for that. They have made sure they can determine who that is. And this group, they are trying to skirt that process. They are trying to make a mockery of Europe's borders and get every single person through. One of the craziest things in that recording is the fact that they are teaching people who could very well be, many who are likely Muslim, who are perfectly safe in many Middle Eastern countries, how to pretend to be Christian, how to pray, how to say that Christmas is their favorite holiday. I mean, that is insane. There are Christians who are being beheaded, that are facing jail, that are facing just complete and utter persecution, that are now being put at the back of a line for support in Europe because Advocates Abroad are teaching people perjury, how to lie to the government and pretend to be Christians so they can get through. It is making an absolute mockery of Europe's borders. It is making a mockery of the proper system put in place to help genuine refugees, and it is hurting both genuine migrants and the European people who now have to deal with a mass influx of people that are entirely unvetted. We spoke to the migrants on the camps in the Greek islands, and they were telling us one of the biggest things they fear are ISIS in their camps and criminals in their camps that have just gotten through and come to Europe. And there is a very good chance that advocates abroad are coaching those people as well, are coaching criminals, are coaching ISIS how to skirt the system, how to get by and lie to the government and get into Europe. Of course there are people who need legal help. Of course there are genuine refugees out there. But what they need is non-partisan, real legal help, not like actual activists that are trying to do illegal behavior, not advocates abroad. So that was just a very small snippet of some of the amazing content we have with our project Borderless. There is still so much we have yet to expose and so much more we want to expose that the government and the media are trying to cover up. Unfortunately, so far we have come to the end of our budget for the Borderless film, but we're looking to you to help us continue this project as there is so much more we want to investigate and bring forward. If you want to help, please check out the links below or go to borderless.com. Very small snippet of some of the amazing content we have with our project Borderless. There is still so much we have yet to expose and so much more we want to expose that the government and the media are trying to cover up. Unfortunately, so far we have come to the end of our budget for the Borderless film, but we're looking to you to help us continue this project as there is so much more we want to investigate and bring forward. If you want to help, please check out the links below or go to borderless.com. Very small snippet of some of the amazing content we have with our project Borderless. There is still so much we have yet to expose and so much more we want to expose that the government and the media are trying to cover up. Unfortunately, so far we have come to the end of our budget for the Borderless film, but we're looking to you to help us continue this project as there is so much more we want to investigate and bring forward. If you want to help, please check out the links below or go to borderless.com. Very small snippet of some of the amazing content we have with our project Borderless. There is still so much we have yet to expose and so much more we want to expose that the government and the media are trying to cover up. Unfortunately, so far we have come to the end of our budget for the Borderless film, but we're looking to you to help us continue this project as there is so much more we want to investigate and bring forward. If you want to help, please check out the links below or go to borderless.com. Some of the amazing content we have with
Mm. 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 Mm.
Come on, boy, push. Yeah. Here. Push, boy. Yeah.
You got it.
may well be.
Oh, you're done for now.
Push up on him! I'll riddle you with bullets!
Damn it!
Easy now. You had this coming?
Trust! They'll find pieces of your body in the paint. Yep. Work, boy! Yep.
Easy now.
Yeah!
Yep.
You better have a goddamn good reason for me. Yeah, keep moving. Kick on.
Wait.
Enough of this shit. Get the hell out of here.
Not again.
Yep. Yep. Go, go. Come on, push. Boy. Yeah. Giddy up. You got more than that. You're okay, boy. Yep. Hell, they got the wrong man.
my brother Petey. Petey's always getting into trouble. They called you a woman killer, not a turncoat. Your own brother? Stop it! Just go away! Stop it!
Yep.
What the hell?
Yep. Yep. Come on, boy. Come on, push. Come on, bit more. Look. Okay then. Okay, boy. Let's go, boy. Let's go, boy. Yeah.
Please.
J. John Waits.
They call me Snow Goose now.
Whatever they call you. You borrowed money off of Leopold Strauss. The bills come due.
This ain't the best time, sir.
This ain't the best time for anyone.
Mr. Strauss knew it was a long-term proposition.
The debt is due.
Okay. I got supplies meant to last through the winter. You can take them. Just, is there any way you can help me? I stay out here, there won't be anyone to pay you.
I ain't here to help. I'm here to collect. We're all of us up against it.
Look, there's men after me. They're killers. I ain't a deserter, just an objector. It ain't right. If there was another way than running, I need your help.
Shut up.
Please. Up here, it's him. It's too late. Form up, shoot on sight. I clear off, sir.
Shit. Well, seeing as I'm here, may as well protect the payment.
sakes!
It's all right, my darling. You can come out.
Damn the dad. Just get her somewhere safe. Go on.
Thank you, fella. You know, there ain't enough kindness in this world, that's for sure. But you...
I don't know nothing about kindness. Okay, boy. Yep.
Shit! Work, boy! Take some. Yeah. You got more than that. Yep. Come on, boy. Here. Yep. Work. Be gone. Be gone. Be gone. Be gone. Get in.
Reverend?
You okay, Mr. Morgan?
I don't know, Reverend.
These are challenging times for all of us.
Yes, very challenging.
You don't seem yourself, somehow. I've always felt... I've left the morphine, sir.
Arthur, Reverend Swanson, would you excuse us a minute?
Of course.
New York. We are gonna go to New York. Now, they have been chasing us south and east and west. We're gonna get a boat, we're gonna get on a river, and we're gonna go north. New York. Then Tahiti, the Fiji Islands, or this place, New Guinea, dancing girls, freedom. But first, we have to make a whole lot of smoke, a whole lot of commotion. And then we disappear. We need more commotion? 1 score and 1 whole hell of a lot of noise.
We ain't so good at doing scores anymore, Dutch.
Are you feeling all right, Arthur?
Sure, I'm fine.
Pardon me for interrupting. I brought a friend, Arthur.
Hello.
Hello.
Dutch. This is Eagle Flies. His father is a great chief. Charles and I, we
pretended to be mercenaries. Did me a great favor.
Dutch Vanderlyn. How do you do?
Not well, sir.
Well, I am sorry to hear that.
How's your father?
Father has confused wisdom with weakness. His people, my people. We've suffered too much. Been lied to too much. Now they've taken our horses.
Who?
The infantry division posted at Fort Wallace.
Why?
Colonel Favors is a liar and a murderer. His people won't stop until we're all dead. Without horses, we cannot hunt. Without hunting, we will starve. This is another act of war.
I see that.
Men have helped me before, and I have money.
Put your money away, son. What do you think, Charles?
You know I told your father I will not fight over some horses.
But I made no such promise. Come along.
Arthur, we must go with them. And try to stop things from getting out of hand.
I guess. Come along. We can get them more horses.
I know. I understand Eagle Flies is angry, but I don't see how this will help anything.
Especially not with Dutch whipping them up into a frenzy. Got enough folks coming after us without adding an army to the list.
You going to let these bastards walk all over you? No, you're not. This is all that's wrong with this world. Okay, young man, lead the way.
The horses are on a boat near Van Horn. I have a man waiting for us there with some canoes.
Surely this can be done without killing anyone.
Of course. What will be, will be. Anyway, son, tell me about this Colonel Favors.
He's a vile man. He and his regiment take pleasure in persecuting us. All the young have been taken from our reservation, shipped off to reform schools. Many women, too. The old are weak and sick, but they deliberately withhold medicine and supplies from us.
This ends today. You have my word on that.
Why are you getting involved in this, Dutch?
You know me. We shoot fellers as need shooting. We save fellers as need saving. Feed them as need feeding.
Not this again. It's been quite a while since we helped anyone but ourselves. Even you know that.
I told you. Noise. We need noise, Arthur. Noise and faith.
I still don't know what that means.
Stop questioning and think. Just think for a second. The Pinkertons have had time to reinforce. The civilized world is closing on us. Who knows what else Molly told them? We need to move towards a conclusion now.
Sure, but what What's this got to do with any of that?
Some good, honest conflict between the army and the Indians might be just the distraction we need. Kill two birds with one stone. Cornwall was funding the Pinkertons' assault on us. Why do you think I dealt with him? With Cornwall gone, the government is far more likely to divert them to other issues, especially if there's one more scandal. And then we can slip away. Like I said, we just need that noise and one more score. You know, I went back for the chest I had hidden outside Shady Bell, and we're close, Arthur. That dynamite, the railroad contract with the army, it was all in those papers Micah found. I have a plan. You just have to trust me.
There's Peta. His men, like I said, they'll help us.
I got the canoes. The boat is still moored in the channel.
Good. Let's wait until nightfall.
Right.
Let's head out.
We need to get that boat ashore. I think the best plan is to paddle up there silently, board her. And when we got control, we'll deal with that anchor, float away. We'll be ashore before anybody even knows what happened.
Good luck.
Pull up alongside, quietly.
Try not to kill anyone, Arthur.
You mind the horses? I need a smoke.
Oh! No, not again. Ain't had a sniff of a good hen all night. I'll be retired in the morning at this rate. Just beat it, will ya? What the hell?
We're taking back what's ours!
Boys, go find out about those horses down below. Arthur, deal with that anchor.
Are you dealing with the anchor?
Come on, Arthur.
I have the horses under control. Stop that. You'll attract attention. I have the horses under control. You go up front. We need to do something about that anchor, Arthur.
You think I have the first idea how this anchor works?
Just blow it up then. Hurry.
with you? Boys all right back there?
Yeah, I think so. But there's a hole in the boat. Horses are spooked, and we're taking on water.
Boys, get him out of here! Well, whatever else is wrong with you, you're quite the best pilot I've ever come across.
The horses are confused. We need to round them up. I'll get these four, Arthur. Can you go after the others?
Okay. Over here, come on.
Mas é que os índios não tinham cavalos. Não sei como é que... Então como é que eles conseguiam caçar? Antes dos europeus chegar, porque os cavalos vieram da Europa. Não havia cavalos na América antes dos europeus. Isso. Eles morriam à...
Well, Arthur needs to rest. I will. I like you, son. And after the horses, are we gonna wait for the army to come and wreak its revenge?
I hope not.
Of course we ain't. Now let's go check out that fort of theirs.
Is this a good idea?
This is the only idea, and it is one that will suit both of our purposes.
Fighting the army ain't wise.
Stop worrying. Oh, and Sadie told me about Combs. Meet us at Doyle's Tavern in Saint Denis when you can. Shall we go, son?
Certainly.
We'll start some light reconnaissance out at Fort Wallace, and when Combs dealt with, you come meet us there. We'll set up a good spot for you.
I don't know, Dutch.
Yeah, well, I do. This is exactly the distraction that we need.
Your father said that fighting was an impossible gamble. There's no winning for you in this.
Father need not know anything. He'd rather live in ignorance.
Come along,
Your
gentlemen.
father would rather you did not do anything so foolish. I said I would stop this from happening. Would you talk to him?
Speak with Rangeful.
Yes. Would you?
I can't get any more involved in this business, Charles. It's not my fight. You head on back to camp, check on the others. Dutch's behavior,
I understand. Thank you, Arthur.
Okay, boy. Let's go. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Ah, there he is. Old Black Lung Morgan.
Shut up.
Was you followed?
Excuse me?
Was you followed?
You know who you're talking to.
I ain't sure. I ain't sure about much no more. All I know is there's law whenever you're around.
Is that so? Because it seems to me that since you've been riding with us, there ain't been nothing but trouble. Stirring things up all the time, getting in Dutch's ear. Seems wherever you is, there's Pinkertons and vice versa. So you better watch your goddamn mouth, boy! Or...
Take it easy, cowboy. You're gonna do yourself a mischief way you're heading.
Micah, shut it!
He started it! Dutch says we is to go on with plans to create a diversion. We gotta get some explosives to blow up the bridge. Keep the army out of here a few days.
I think it's a real bad idea.
I don't think Dutch cares too much what you think.
That's clear.
We gotta confuse him one last time. Then he and I will head to Blackwater, collect the money, and help everyone leave. He's got a boat lined up.
Blackwater's a fool's errand. Everyone knows it. Even a greedy moron like you.
It's Dutch's choice, Arthur. You're just a senior gun, same as the rest of us. Only you ain't well.
I'm fine.
Then you'll do Dutch's bidding, which is robbing a stage that's coming from Annisburg full of explosives.
Rob a stage. All we seem to ever do is rob a stage, you and me.
Not me, you two. I got my own planning to do. You boys got this.
Shit. Guess we have. Come on, Arthur.
And Cowpoke, take it easy. You could do with a vacation, hmm?
All right, let's go.
Not como Selena.
Hurry up, Arthur. Every minute counts for a man in your...
Micah says we should jump it as soon as it comes through and horn.
So you're taking orders from him now?
I'm taking orders from Dutch, same as always.
A pair of them are becoming unhinged. You hear about Dutch killing Cornwall?
Hey, hold up a second.
Pinkerton Patrol, over there. Okay, I think we're clear. Let's head off.
So you was just talking about something?
Well, that needed to be done.
Right now? With the Pinkertons breathing down our necks?
See, I'm starting to think that you've gone soft, Morgan. Okay, let's hold up here. Whoa! So, the wagon will be coming from that way, down from Annisburg. It'll take the two of us to stop it completely, or it'll never get done. So, I was thinking, you go play dead, and I'll take care of him.
No, I'm the better shot, and you're the better actor. No, you play dead, and I'll cover you.
I got that. I got that. Well, if that's them coming now, I think. It'll be quite the show.
Come on, let's get you out of...
let's see if we can get this back to camp without blowing ourselves up. Nice shooting back there.
Nice drunk playing.
Comes naturally. I could use a drink after that.
Yeah, no. Just never goes easy no more, does it?
All right, let's see if we can get this back to camp without blowing ourselves up. Nice shooting back there.
Nice drunk playing.
Comes naturally. I could use a drink after that.
Yeah, no. Just never goes easy no more, does it?
Oh, shit! Deal with them, Arthur!
Okay, I'm trying.
Quick! They get off one good shot and I'll blow it close to Kingdom Come! I thought there was no law in there.
Does that really matter right now, Bill?
Come on here before they blow us to high hell! God damn it! Still more behind us! I'm all right, Arthur! Damn it! You need to take him out, Arthur! What now? Oh, shit! They're aiming for the dynamite! Here come more of them! We need to deal with this. We're leading them. All right, let's see if we can get this back to camp without blowing ourselves up. Nice shooting back there.
Nice drunk playing.
Comes naturally. I could use a drink after that.
Yeah, no. Just never goes easy no more, does it?
Oh, shit! Deal with them, Arthur!
Okay, I'm trying.
Quick! They get off one good shot and they'll blow us both to Kingdom Come! I thought there was no law in there for me.
Does that really matter right now, Bill?
Damn it! Take him out, Arthur! God damn it! Still more behind! That was close. Don't reckon I'm cut out to be a dynamite wagon driver.
Killing a bunch of folks so we can rob some dynamite, blow up a bridge. This make any sense to you?
It's a distraction. So it ain't meant to make sense.
It should to us.
Look, there's Micah up ahead.
Great. Whoa!
So, you got it?
We got it. Yes, we got it.
What's wrong, Arthur?
Nothing at all, boss.
John, go drive this over to Bacchus Bridge. Get it hidden near there.
He really does think
Bill,
he's in charge.
You go on ahead. I need to speak with Arthur. Good work, son.
What's going on?
Listen, I know we ain't always seen eye to eye, and you find me irritating and a threat, and I like to annoy you. But right now, I need better from you, Arthur.
Okay, Micah. Whatever you say.
I ain't the bad guy you think I am, Arthur. But I am a survivor. Stick with me and you'll live. Oh, the bridge is probably a two-man job. You should probably go help Marston.
Why don't you?
Like I said, Dutch and I got planning to do for the train. There's a big picture here, Arthur. Trust me.
Yep.
Trying to wreck the place?
Okay. Keep your hair on. Oh! Josiah?
I was,
Leaving again?
yes, just leaving. I'll see you soon.
Perhaps.
What do you mean?
Well, if I was you, I'd disappear too. This is all pretty much over.
I'll be back.
No, you won't. Let's not pretend no more. Get out of here.
I'll miss you, Arthur. You've been a fine friend to me.
No, let's not get over sentimental. Well, the place is quiet. Get out of here. You go with my blessing.
Thank you, Arthur.
Found a friend looking for you.
Mr. Morgan.
Sir, how can I help you?
I'm sorry to impose on you again, but I believe I've made progress brokering peace.
You have?
I believe so. Colonel Favors has agreed to a meeting to discuss and maybe resolve his alleged grievances and mine. Now, he has lied to me more times than I care to remember, but maybe this time he must want peace. Why could he possibly want to humiliate us further?
We got words for his kind, but they're colloquial.
Perhaps I could make one last request. My men are not allowed to carry arms.
You want us to keep the peace?
Yeah, it'll be a lot of dull talking and ceremony. But I feel with some non-tribe members present, their chances of lying or worse will be reduced.
Will you, Arthur?
It ain't my business, brother.
No, I know. But it is mine. Do it for me?
Charles, I've
saved your life. Do it for me.
Sure. Come on. You owe this man. You should have him do your negotiations.
Let's go.
This way. I also have some men meeting me there. I wasn't sure if you'd be able to help. Thank you for doing this, both of you.
Ain't a problem. I wish we could have done more to control the situation. Dutch should not have gotten involved.
My son has a mind of his own. Too much so, in fact. I just hope Colonel Favors can be reasoned with. I'm not asking for very much, but when our people are sick and hungry, and we find our medicine and supplies are being deliberately withheld, how can we not view that as something personal? How can I convince Eagle Flies and the others that they shouldn't fight back?
Maybe that's part of the reason they're doing these things. Because they want you to fight. To be able to say, look, you see how these savages behave?
Perhaps. There's an army captain, Lyndon Monroe, who was seconded here from a regiment in the north, sent by
Ainda não tinha um que vendo, conseguimos.
He'll be at the meeting and he knows the true situation.
Não é? E antes era para chegar. E também não tinham arma.
An agreement. Here we are. There's my men up ahead. Hello. Chashakilana, Kulawich Yampi, Hiopo, Unyampi Ktelo. This way. Colonel Favors, Captain Monroe, we come in peace.
Hello again. Who are these two?
They're friends of my people.
Interesting looking fellows.
Yeah, they won't cause any trouble.
Well, I should hope not. Listen, Mr.
Chief.
Yes, Mr. I can't say that silly name. What is it?
In English, they call me Rainsfall.
Yes, I'm sure they do. Listen, we're all Americans here, and we want an outcome. But quite frankly, I'm confused. Your men are little more than criminals, in my opinion. Keep breaking peace treaties we've made, causing disturbances in everybody's lives. But I pride myself on being a gentleman. Really, I do. But there are limits. So, let me be very... Are you okay, man? Someone. Jackson, take him away. Where was I?
You're a gentleman with limits?
Are you being facetious, sir?
Come this way, buddy.
I said, are you being facetious, Captain Monroe?
No, sir, I am not.
Chief Raines.
That's, Raines' fault.
Exactly. Chief Raines, the thing
It's quite a
is,
cough.
the federal government.
Sure.
Wait here. I'll fetch you some water.
I'll be fine. Thank you.
No. You know he's going to have Monroe court-martialed. Or attempt to. He's going to make a disgrace of him.
Monroe? Seems likable enough for a West Pointer. Why?
You know what Favors is like. Because he thinks it's right. Because he thinks Monroe is a patsy. Or a spy. He's convinced he had something to do with those vaccines getting stolen. He thinks Monroe is going to force him into making a concession with the Indians. So he removes Monroe.
Removes how?
Favors wants him tried for treason and hanged.
Why does Favors care about the Indians?
Because he doesn't want to back down. I mean, his whole professional life. You know what they say about him. Hightail Favors. The man who missed a battle.
Poor Monroe. Kinda liked him.
I know. Well, still, he's kind of stuck up.
Your men violated the treaty. That treaty is null and void. I have been appointed to negotiate.
Feeling better? Yeah. Come on. Let's go.
The lands you currently occupy belong to the United States government. Why is this so confusing, sir? Why?
Good day, Colonel Favors.
Well, that was remarkably unproductive. I'm afraid the federal government was quite clear, Colonel, that it wanted peace, and peace for all, and that the treaty had not been broken by anybody.
Oh, is that so, sir? And did it want impudence, sir, from a junior officer in public? Was that its plan too, sir? You insult me. You insult the regiment. Arrest this man.
Arrest me?
Gross insubordination. Disobeying an order. Treason.
Are you mad?
You had those vaccines stolen. You disrupted a negotiation.
Let him go.
This is all getting out of hand.
Hi, Captain Monroe. Let's get out of here. If I were you, I'd keep my mouth shut, amigo. I don't want to kill this man, but shall.
Bitch.
Charles, Captain Monroe, mount up now. We're getting out of here. Arthur, let's go.
Get off me!
Think about what you're doing.
You won't get away from
Leave
me.
now. Open fire on them.
Follow me!
We got some on our tail.
I'm a watcher. I can't shoot at these men.
Yeah, but we can.
Look out! They're still coming! Use your hand! Please hold your fire! Ain't got long legs, you son of a bitch!
Kill those Indian lovers.
Hold your fire!
Shit. My horse! Damn it! More on the left! Head for the trees! We're paying in! Go! Find Come on, Captain! Can you shoot? I can't! They're trying to kill you! I swore it off! I'm putting you down! Push up! Push up!
do we do now?
You get out of here. Fast. Take you to the station.
I can't believe that just happened. I've been an army man my whole life.
I heard them talking. They was gonna have you hanged for treason. You can't die for those fools.
And what about the chief?
Can't worry about that now.
I guess I won't be submitting my report.
I wouldn't think so. Get out of here, Captain Monroe.
I fear it may be Mr. Monroe from now on.
I'm sorry about your career. Here. Here's some money. You take it and get out of here and start a new life somewhere. I hear Tahiti's nice.
Thank you.
Just hop on a train to Saint Denis, jump on a boat, but avoid Guam.
Where?
Forget about it.
Meet you back at camp.
Reverend? Reverend. What are you doing here?
I'm leaving.
Running away?
Yeah, I suppose so. I'm running away. I tried to make Dutch see sense, but he's very strange recently.
And the women? Little Jack? You're leaving them?
I told them to run too. I asked them to come with me, and they wouldn't. I've changed. I'm a changed man, Arthur. I won't die over some nonsense spouted by a fool.
I ain't changed. I'm still a bad man.
Maybe your path isn't changing, Arthur.
My path is coming to an end, Reverend.
I know, son. I know. And I know that you will face your destiny like a man, like a warrior. Because that's what you are.
That's all I am. A fighter, a killer, and a crazy man.
So be it. You lived your way, you'll die your way. But in the time that you have left, don't compromise. And you'll do everything that you have to do just fine.
We'll see.
I don't have to see. I know you. Fight and keep fighting.
Okay. Good luck out there.
Be true to yourself, Mr. Morgan. And leave the lies and the hypocrisy to fools like me.
Been a while since you were through here. All right, take a look. Okay, let's see. This must be an heirloom, huh? Picked this up off the street, no doubt.
Real good doing business with you.
It's worth buying. I'll buy it. Gentle with that. Trust me. Uh-huh.
I just hope nobody's missing this too much.
So I thought you would...
Thanks,
Sounds like
mister.
you went a good deal further than that.
Go, go! Easy there, boy. It's all right, boy. Yeah. Work, boy!
Been too many Federals coming through. But I got some horse sense.
Hey, I can't have anyone wearing a mask in this shop.
Oh, okay, then.
Okay, that's fine. Then we can both breathe a little easier.
Now, let me see.
Got some nice parts for that gun, you know. Hey, you know, that gun could use a few choice parts. Really make us sing. All right. You spend much time in the parlor house? Every time I'm there, I thank God I'm armed. Good. That could really shine with some carbon in it. Got some nice parts for that gun, you know. I have one myself. Interested in a stock? Could put some carbons on it, too. All right. Hey, you know, that gun could use a few choice parts. Really make us sing. All right. Weapons only as good as its stock. Got some fine ones cut just for it. Had to have it, eh?
Now this should be fun.
Looks like you're taking care of that weapon. Good to see. Got some nice parts for that gun, you know.
You can cut that out, right?
Okay, boy.
Oh.
Yep. Yep.